Welcome to the first edition of Inside the Den for the 2024-25 WSU Varsity Club wrestling season. And I'm super excited to have junior wrestler Petra, is it Berenstain?
Bernsten.
Bernsten. Yeah. Anyone watching this and the kids know me and names are, that's not a great combination. So here with Petra today, and I'm really excited to have this like exclusive time with her. And let's just kick it right off with um, how did you get involved with wrestling?
So my middle school PE class had a wrestling like segment or whatever,
Oh,
and I liked it then. And then I told him I liked it, and then my dad was like, "Wrestling is for boys." And I was like, "You're wrong." And so I proved him wrong, and I joined the wrestling team, and I've been wrestling ever since, about 10 years.
you're just another what I call the one courageous girl, that steps into a wrestling room and says, I'm going to do this, and but that's really cool that you had that introduction in middle school and especially
Yeah.
in PE. I feel like a wrestling, like a 2 or 3 or maybe even a month long wrestling, module in PE is like I think kids could have a lot of fun with that. So,
Yeah, it's
so
pretty
you
neat.
wrestled in high school. What was your high school?
Swim high school,
Esquim High School. Okay.
super west side.
And then how did you find out about WSU wrestling? How did that come together?
Coach Phil approached me at state my senior year
Oh, is that
and asked me, he gave me his card and then he was like, make sure you apply to WSU. And I was like, I applied to 8 schools at that time and WSU was not my top school. But WSU was the only one that had a wrestling program. And later, like on in my senior year, I was like, I really want to wrestle. So I ended up choosing WSU.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's fascinating. I love that it wasn't your top choice, but look at what
Yeah.
happened, right?
Yeah.
The arc of our lives and opportunities and where it takes us is often not the place that we thought
Hmm.
we would be.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
certainly that's
Story
true
of
with
my life.
wrestling, right? Wrestling takes us to all different kinds of places we never thought we would go.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you ever so you always kind of had it in your mind that you wanted to wrestle in college?
Yeah.
And was WSU, I just remind me at the time, what were the opportunities in the state? Were you looking in the state, out of the state?
I had a couple coaches contact me to wrestle for them. Some of them didn't have scholarships. One school in Iowa gave me like a $16,000 scholarship, but I ended up not going because I didn't want to go to Iowa. Um,
And then you
but
ended up in Pullman.
yeah. And then my brother went to WSU and I knew it was a great school. And I knew they had a great program for my education.
Hmm.
Because a lot of schools, like a lot of smaller schools in Washington State that I knew had teams, didn't have like great educational programs. But I know
Okay.
WSU has an amazing educational program, especially for research opportunities. So I went with them.
Cool. And so this is your third year with WSU.
Hmm.
And already in your first 2 seasons, you have punched your ticket to the NCAA Women's National Championship. The first one was in Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
Last year was in Louisiana. It'll be in Louisiana again this year. What are your goals this year? What are you hoping to accomplish, either maybe just personally within yourself or with your record, with the podium at nationals.
Let's see. Well, okay, so my freshman year I got third.
Hmm.
My sophomore year I got second. So hopefully we're going for national champ this year. But my main goal, honestly, is more to focus on my mental health.
Hmm.
I am really into mental health and I really want to make sure that I'm set to perform well physically and mentally at nationals. So I'm really going to focus on that during the season,
Great.
and kind of set boundaries and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, mental health is so important for all of us, but for athletes especially. And, academics and sports are not always such a great marriage. And I know how important academics are to you and how much you're pushing yourself really hard with high expectations in that area, and you're doing the same in wrestling. And we can feel a lot of pressure, and we can have these ideas in our mind of how we have to do things. And it's so important that you all really embrace the idea of what is a healthy mindset to help me,
Hmm.
achieve everything I want to achieve. So I think that's fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if you can put that all together. I believe that you can. And I know you'll have a lot of support on the team, if that's your goal, and we all understand that, to be able to provide you with whatever support you need to do that.
Yeah.
So let's, as we're talking about, academics and performance and kind of reaching high, big news for you that you were admitted into the pharmacology program at WSU, which I don't think is a small feat. Um, so tell us about your major, and tell us, why, maybe also not just your major, but why you're kind of driven and attracted to those types of subjects and study, and how pharmacology is tying that all together.
So my major is cell biology and genetics with a focus in molecular biology. I originally started my freshman year, I was a biochemistry major, and then I switched to cell biology because biochem is hard. But after switching my major, I was in a research lab and we were researching um, germlines in mice. And I was kind of figuring out what I liked in research, and I found that I didn't want to like just graduate because normally with a biology degree you would graduate and go into like quality assurance or something like that in a lab and work bench work, and I didn't really want to do bench work right off the bat. Um, so I was kind of exploring my options with my degree, and I was recently diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and I'm going through that like kind of process of trial and error with SSRIs and
Yeah,
SNRIs. And so I really found interest in how SSRIs and SNRIs affect your brain and the
yeah.
biology aspect of that. And I had a really great pharmacist that explained everything and like receptors. And since I had a background in biology, I really like understood what he was saying.
Mhm.
And that kind of pushed me towards like the pharmacy option. And I started working in a pharmacy this last summer and I enjoyed it a lot. I had great connections with patients and it was
Yeah.
amazing. So I applied to WSU Spokane Pharmacy School and got accepted with a $4,500 scholarship a couple days ago.
Congratulations. What a great way to, and really just inspirational, how you're taking your personal experience, and then, and working through medication, which can often be a real trial and error for anyone
For
that
sure.
lives with any kind of mood or mental health disorder. It can be a juggernaut to figure out and work with those. But how cool that comes together with this interest that you have in science,
Yeah.
and now you have a pathway to take it all. I think that that's absolutely, I think that's so cool. I'm super
Yeah.
proud of you.
Thank you so much.
And I really hope that people watching this get just the benefit of your vulnerability and sharing that you've been diagnosed with that, but also how cool and powerful it is for you to take that and be like, okay, well, I'm going to do something with this, right?
Yeah.
Because it blends so well with your interest in science and everything you're doing. So well done, Petra. I'm
Thank you.
super excited for your future. And I know that you're going to achieve great things in pharmacology school. And, just like this wrestling journey, we'll see where that journey takes you. And I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Um, so, doing really rigorous academics, like you're doing and have been
Yeah.
doing, what has it meant to you that WSU is academics first? Like, if you need to take time out for your academics, you need to study, you need to focus on, a lab or whatever. What has it meant to you that it's not just something that's spoken, it's actually something that's valued?
Yeah, I think that it's really important that the coach gives you an opportunity to kind of balance in your own way. because everyone needs to find their own balance for academics and wrestling. And so, and a job if you have that too. And so
Yeah.
it's really important to have the opportunity to be figured out and kind of figure out your own balance. And coach always like gives us that opportunity to be like, if you need to do your homework or if you need to take time off for labs or an exam or whatever, he's totally accepting about that and honestly kind of forces you to go do your homework. So I think
Yeah.
that's a really important thing to do.
Yeah,
And I
he's
think,
I know he's so proud of you and
yeah,
all of you, but he does, for everyone watching this and we say it's not just this thing we say, it is something it's really important to us that you all actually graduate from college with a
yeah,
degree and that you have that for your life and then you take that wherever you want to.
yeah,
So yeah, I think you're a
yeah.
really good example of that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do it without Coach Phil telling me to go do my homework, honestly.
That's a coach that cares.
Yeah.
So we got another big year with a full schedule, right? Couple schedule changes, which I think is kind of cool because it's fun to kind of mix it up and maybe go to
Mhm.
some new places and refocus attention other places. Is there
For sure.
anything in our schedule this year, besides, making that climb to nationals that you're excited about?
I'm always excited for the freestyle national duels,
Yeah,
or the freestyle tournament after national duels. That's always my favorite tournament to go to, because
yeah,
you have so many wrestlers that you haven't wrestled before, and so it's really exciting to see new people that you haven't seen, like Utah Tech, UNLV, and stuff like
yeah,
that. And so it's really exciting to get that experience, especially if like because we do the national tournament the day before and then the freestyle tournament the day after. And last year I got beat by this one girl at national duels, and then the next day I beat her. So it was pretty exciting.
yeah, good. It really is because we have the tournament the day before or the duels the day before and then the tournament after. You
Hmm.
get an extra head to head, with
Yeah.
anyone that may have bested you or maybe it was close and you're just looking for that little added extra
Hmm.
improvement. So I love that. The more face-to-face interactions that you all can have, especially before nationals, the better. And it really is
Yeah,
just a great 2-day weekend of wrestling. And
I
we
agree.
just got done with a great 2-day weekend of wrestling.
Hmm.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So we had the WSU hosts. This is the second year in a row, a college showcase for the college programs in Washington, and then we followed it up with a kids camp the next day. So,
Yeah.
just your thoughts on how the weekend went, and like maybe just your observations and things that you really enjoyed.
Yeah, the tournament I think went really well. We had great director from Sumner High help us with the organization and everything. So that was awesome, and it was really well organized, and I really appreciate that because you go to some tournaments and it's not well organized. So it was really nice
Yeah,
to see a good organization and have it go out really well. And the support from the fans on the west side was amazing. Seeing my family was great. And I saw a lot of other athletes that had their family there, and it was
yeah,
amazing to have that kind of support there when you don't get to see them that often. And then the clinic went amazing. All the kids seemed like they enjoyed it. We had about 50 kids show up, so that was
yeah,
cool. Yeah, it's
yeah.
a lot of kids and about
It
13 girls,
was.
I think.
We almost
So
didn't
it
have
was
enough
exciting.
room on the mats for
I
all the
know, I
kids.
know. All the girls showed up. That was really cool seeing that amount of girls there at a clinic. I remember when I was going to clinics, I was like normally the only girl there. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, a lot of expansion. And we kind of asked the kids a bunch of questions about them and who's their favorite wrestler. And I was really impressed with um, just how, quite frankly, just how many boys knew, like
Girl
great
wrestlers.
female wrestlers, and also
Yeah.
that they knew that, our NCAA, NAIA women's college programs, and that they knew that it was freestyle. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, okay, these kids are a little more informed and up on current stuff, but they weren't as familiar with WSU success. So that's something that we're
Yeah.
going to talk to them. Like they got to know the name of our national champion, or they need to know
Hmm.
how many NCAA All-Americans that we have, including you. And so we're gonna have to make sure that those kids are a little informed. But I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that you guys hooked some future
At least a couple, yeah,
WC
for
wrestlers.
sure.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to kind of add or talk about to close this out?
Um, I
Did you
don't
take
think.
are you on the board this year? Did you take a board position?
No, I didn't. I tried out, but no one came
Yeah.
back.
Well, I think you're pretty busy.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You're pretty busy. So,
Yeah. Vice
you're folk.
president is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm super pumped about this season and watching you, not only just chase your goals, but do it in the way that really and truly is best for you. And I look forward to witnessing that and being in literally in your corner and
Yeah.
cheering for you. And wherever it goes, it goes. And it's all going to be great. And you're always going to be pushing to reach new heights. So it's going to be exciting.
I'm excited for it.
All right. That's it for this segment of Inside the Den. We'll be putting this on YouTube and go Cougs.
Go Cougs. Thanks for having me.